Bienvenidos a AfterBuzz TV, el ESPN de conversaciones de televisión. Hola mi gente, buenas tardes, bienvenidos a otro episodio de Vida, temporada 3, episodio 3. Estamos muy contentas por estar aquí, pero claro, yo no lo pudiera hacer sola. Tengo aquí mis compañeras Crystal McLaughlin y Jackie Nova. ¿Cómo están, muchachas?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Cómo estás?
Good. How are you guys? Jackie, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy muy bien. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers
Oh,
por el mundo entero.
Mm-hmm.
Las reinas del mundo.
That's right. It's all about the madres all the time, always.
Yes. Always, baby.
Ellas son
Happy
las
Mother's Day.
They keep us in check y por ellas estamos aquí y podemos estar aquí dando este show para ustedes.
Gracias a Dios, ¿eh?
Gracias a Dios.
Pero, Crystal, ¿qué pensaste tú del episodio de hoy as an overall? Like, what are your overall thoughts?
I just felt like it was just so emotional, you know. Actually, even like the song they ended with, they usually end it with like a really upbeat song, but they ended it with like this really slow song that I went to go look it up actually because I was like, wow, what a beautiful song. But it literally is just like talking about like thinking about life and like the way that like things flow and you just need to be self-reflective. And so I think that really summed up the episode. It was a very self-reflecting episode for sure.
It really was.
It was.
Their music, it's la música de ellos. I love their music because they don't just throw music in there just whatever.
No, it means something. Es romántico.
Every song, even if we know whether it's popular, you think of it differently now, you know?
Right.
Like there's some songs that I used to listen to and I don't think I really paid attention to the lyrics. And now that I listen to it, you're like, oh, okay, that's what it means. It's not, you know, it's you didn't think, nunca pensaste de que la canción que estabas oyendo era algo diferente o lo que sea. It really has a meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jackie, what did you think of the episode today?
Yeah, sí, como Cristal estaba diciendo, es bien emocionante. I got bamboozled anyways, Nico.
Yes!
Come on. Besides that the music was so emotional y me dio tanto miedo para Eddy y también like I love how like Mari, she's so fearless. I feel like, you know, with this episode, I got a taste even more of each character. Y yo me siento para mí que I feel like I have a little bit of each of the characters. It's such a slice of heaven. I love them all. I almost don't even have a favorite anymore. I just love them all because they're so different. And I got the music, pero the music. Ay.
Right. Cantando llores.
Ay, Dios mío.
Fíjense aquí, pueden venir todo el tiempo porque si quieren ver esto, Jackie y Crystal les van a dar un show. No tienen que ir a Vida, pueden ir a Vida, pero pueden venir, nosotros le damos un show.
That's right.
Yeah,
estamos aquí toda la noche.
Toda la noche. 24 horas al día.
Yeah, cuando yo pensé de este episodio, it was a lot of things going on. I was like, what is going on? You know, it's like nothing can ever be good. You know, we're seeing so much success of the bar, but then like their personal lives aren't great. You know, it's you can never have both. You know, it's hard to have both. You can have good personal and, you know, good success. It's always one or the other. And I think this has happened in every season of Vida. You know, they're getting along, but the bar is not succeeding. So now they're getting along. The bar is succeeding, but now they're not getting as, you know, along as well. Or there's so many issues going on in the back, right?
The contrast is so exciting. It keeps you hooked. You know, it keeps you hooked. You want to keep watching.
Just like a Latina does, you know, this is what we do. We reel them in.
Right?
Keep them guessing. Why do you think that we're the most popular in the group, you know?
Exacto, mi amor. Ya tú sabes.
Exactly. Pero vamos a empezar with Lynn visiting her father, Victor. Jackie, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of that conversation? Or what did you think of Lynn of Victor telling Lynn everything that was going on about Videlia, and we're seeing the real truth about Videlia and how she really was. Because he did
Yeah.
admit that he was a bad man, de que él era un hombre malo. So él admitió eso, ¿verdad? At least we have that.
Sí.
Él dijo, I wasn't a good man, y yo entiendo eso, pero
Hey,
lo que ella
Google,
hizo
pause.
tampoco no estaba bien. So what do you think of that?
Well, I'm glad that Victor told Lynn la verdad,
Hey,
porque
Google, play.
sin la verdad, yo no sé, like
Hey, Google,
Lynn.
turn down volume.
Oh, sorry, I was hearing something crazy. So sorry. So I was really shocked that Lynn, even though the father is a churchgoer, he's a priest, and un hombre de Dios, and he's turned his life around, and he's so free. I feel like Lynn's a lot like her father, very forgiving. And
Yeah.
I do love that Lynn wants to have that window open and welcome him. But I was surprised that Lynn was just like, pero I don't like that mom did what she did. Like, I could never forgive her. Even though el papá estaba diciendo, I forgive Vida. I forgive for all the things that she's done. I was pretty shocked because I didn't know. I knew there had to be a thing where like Vida maybe was like, get away because you're no good. But I still feel like, even though he apologizes, like, dude, you should have still fought to see your kids, especially that you're now a man of the God,
Right. And Crystal, what did you think of that conversation?
I actually agree with Jackie that I just was like, okay. I was just having this conversation the other day with my girl Veronica. And at the end of the day, when you want to do something as a man, when a man wants to do something, he will make sure it gets done.
Right.
They can give you a list of excuses. Okay.
La lista.
So as much as I like to say it's all Vida's fault, I just can't, because at what point do you take responsibility for yourself and say, you know what, the hell with Vida, I don't care what happens, I'm gonna come be there for my children. Now we do know that she got him
Lo mandó para Mexico.
Yeah, right, exactly. So she had him to, not intentionally trying to send him off, but she did send him off. So we don't know his status right now, and like if he has citizenship or not. So I can understand like him being maybe afraid because of that, but we don't have the full story. So unfortunately we can't say, but at the end of the day, if you love your children, you're just going to show up.
Yes.
Jackie, you have a son. Would you not show up if someone told you not to? No.
Hell no.
So I love that she wants to be there. Lynn wants to know who her father is, and I do agree with Victor, her father, and he says, las cosas por algo pasan. And I believe that, I think that is very true. Right. So I'm interested in what this develops into, especially because unfortunately the season's ending. It's like, how much deeper can we get? Like, what is going to happen? It's just too soon for it all to end.
I know.
I was hoping this would be like a season finale, part 1, and we're gonna get like another part 2 or something.
Right.
Yeah, there's no excuse for Victor. There really isn't. I'm glad that he turned a new leaf, and I'm glad he's a man of God, and I'm glad that all that stuff. Pero tú estás como ahí mismo, a few blocks away, like still not cool that you didn't try to find your kids. Like that just drives me nuts. That part drives me crazy.
I think that's what drove me so insane last week, and that's why, I love Lynn. I love her character. I love how forgiving and all these things so happens to her and to her sister, pero ella trata de ver la manera en una positiva, pero es que esto pudo pasar, you don't know what happened, as to why they didn't do X, Y, and Z, but I was upset, I was upset when Eddy found, gave Lynn the papers, and that he lived vivía 5 minutos de ahí de donde ellas vivían, if you're from LA, Boyle Heights and Lincoln Heights are literally minutes away. It's a couple blocks. Couple blocks.
Oh my
Um,
God.
so it was so bad. Pero tenemos un guest aquí, Jackie Cat.
Hi. Meow meow. Yeah, he doesn't like
Oh,
that Victor left the children. He does
No,
not like
he
it.
does not.
no.
But I did like that Lynn and was became her own person, and whether Emma likes it or not, she's gonna try to have that relationship or be open to getting to know him, and like we
Right.
said, este episodio fue mucho de reflexionar a las cosas que pasan en la vida, because things like this happen in real life,
Right.
Sí, claro que
Right.
sí.
And not only
Hasta
that,
hasta los animales. You can't.
Yeah.
You know how us people are in LA with our animals.
right. And
We
not
would
only
hunt
that,
for our children, like, and our cats.
but not only that, I love that because of this, I feel like this is like a stepping stone for Lynn to grow. Like she's growing because of this. So she's sticking up for herself, and she's taking the initiative in the bar, and she's also sticking up to her sister. So you're seeing this growth, and you see that she even goes to Johnny at one point and she's like, maybe I shouldn't be here. So she's doing a lot of like growth, what I think is, which by the way, I think is just absolutely beautiful. It's not as interesting as that character that she likes to be, but I love to see it,
Yeah, I love that she is growing. It's a struggle for her, like, because she wants to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very beautiful to see her grow finally. Like, it's making me love her character even more.
Right.
And I love that because she was so dependent on other people, she always did what other people said or told her to do.
Yeah.
And at the end, that's why she didn't have those good relationships with all these
Right.
men that, she was with. But,
And she was selfish too,
she was selfish, exactly, because she was used to being someone taking care of her. That's why, she had a jewelry line. She had this kind of line.
She was all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like she's starting to find herself and what
and I
she's
think
strong
with
with.
Latino families, I think we find that sometimes we have that one person, and sometimes we get so frustrated because you're like, oh my God, what are you doing? But it's like looking at Lynn, you're like, okay, maybe this is what they're trying to do, and these are some of the issues or that they have going on. But yeah, I'm super excited. We'll see how that relationship is gonna be, and if Emma might partake on that. But we're gonna have to continue seeing the season, which I don't want it to end anytime.
I know.
But now go to probably one of the reasons why we all are excited to be here today. Emma and Nico.
Oh my God.
Crystal, I'm gonna start with you because I know you from the beginning were like,
God.
no. Me and Jackie were kind of like, we love Nico.
No. Girl, Crystal, when I was watching this, I said, damn it, Crystal, you got a great radar. I'm gonna have to bring you places with me.
I wanted to text you. I wanted to text you girls so bad, but I was like, no, I'm keeping myself from texting. I want to know their reaction on Monday. But Crystal, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think of this?
I literally was just like, that's what I said. And I was so happy that like Lynn jumped on board too, and she was like, she's a F boy, you know what I mean? Like she is an F boy. And at the end of the day, like you just can't, you can't take the F boy out of a person. You know what I mean? You just can't take the hoe out of the, out of the hoe. You know what I mean? Like you just can't. Like, you just can't, and unfortunately, as much as I like Nico, Nico is a creature of habit. And you could tell that, even when Emma went back to the bar and she's like, if you need to stay a little bit longer, you can stay here. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna stay. But it's like, why do you got your stuff there still? Like, you should be ashamed of yourself, There's not much to say. Nico's a player. I knew Nico was a player, and Emma deserves better. And I think, in all honesty, I think that Emma should just like mess around and like just do whatever she wants, Nico, if she feels like she wants to, because she has that side of her where she can be like, she can treat people like whatever,
Yeah,
right?
she's a dominatrix.
She's a dominatrix. So I feel like if she can do that, I think she should with Nico. But if she can't, I think she fire Nico. Like, bye Nico, adios. Like the way Nico was acting in the bar, with what was that guy's name? The one that's living in the building, the new guy, and she was trying to give a drink.
Oh, el chulísimo. Ay,
yes,
Dios mío.
I know. I can't think of his name right now, but Rudy? No, not Rudy. Not Rudy.
Emma's kid crush.
Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío, eres tan chulo. Eres tan chulo,
Está
Dios mío.
chulo. The way that she's behaving towards him, I was like, oh, hold up a second. You don't do that. Like,
It is Rudy. It is Rudy.
No. Rudy's the
No?
boyfriend. Rudy's the boyfriend.
No, Johnny's the boyfriend.
No, Rudy's the new boyfriend, and Johnny's the old.
That's right. That rich. Wow, it just
Yeah.
went so quick.
Mhm.
El bien riquísimo. Yeah.
So, and that's the thing, it's like, if she's already treating, patrons like that based off of her like bad attitude and like, oh, I need to get out of here, oh, this sob story, let me play my violin, oh, and then goes outside and makes out with her ex. I'm like, what? Oh no. I'm just so glad Emma saw that for herself. She needed to say for herself. Lynn knew because Lynn, she knows.
Because Lynn was a player.
Yeah, exactly.
So she understands a player. Cojones, man, because I'm not really a player. Se me fue por aquí. I was really rooting for Nico. Nico, you freaking bamboozled me. I was like, I was thinking of Crystal and I was thinking of our last episode. I said, good Lord have mercy. And she goes, I was like,
yes, pinky
Lord
up.
have mercy. Are you kidding me? And then Nico still tried to play like as this. Like, can you just let me out of work earlier? Because I just can't take it. And I'm still kind of like, ay, pobrecita.
I know.
I was like, are you kidding me? I'm so glad that Emma went out to get a little cigarette break, and then Lynn went right after just to check up on her. And Lynn took her back and said, yep, the F-boy. Because I was like, oh, Nico, you're just a player.
And I'm sorry, but Emma was tame. Like, I would go up to that window and be like, bah, 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 bah.
Oh, it was so tame for like how loud Emma is and how strong she is and her personality. I think that's how much I'm loved. Con la chancleta, coño. Con la chancleta, coñazo.
You best believe,
What? Let me.
I can act white, and then I can be like, like
Marbao, coñazo.
I think that was one of the things that really surprised me, de que Emma se quedó calmada and she was literally staring. I was so disappointed, because like you said, Jackie, me and you, we were so for Nico, and I was like, maybe not, maybe, and I literally, as I was watching that, I was thinking about you, Crystal. It was like, it was
I threw my chancla at the TV.
And like how you ladies say, estaba actuando ella como la víctima, or like, oh, I'm the hurt one, and kind of putting the blame on Emma, at the moment, saying like, oh, don't act like you care about me, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, I'm starting to believe. And then when she goes out and I see Nico with Zoe, her ex or whatever. I don't know if they are anymore.
La esposa.
Still
married.
I was really bummed out. I was like, oh my God. But you know what? Another thing that really surprised me is that, we've seen Emma break down, over her mom, because they didn't have this good relationship. But for the first time, I think somebody broke her heart, like this really broke her. Like this really, really broke her.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, she definitely broke her heart. Nico broke Emma's heart, because there's no way how Emma is. Emma doesn't stay quiet. Like, you see, she's a firecracker. And I was also shocked, J-Lo, that she just.
That's why I was like, ¿sabes qué? Me te voy a ayudar. Mira, Venga
Sí.
acá.
Sí, coño. Ven pa' acá, coñazo.
Yeah,
Ven pa' acá, coñazo.
it was it was really shocking to see that she didn't do anything. She just stayed there. And they went upstairs and they talked. But before we get into that last scene or that part where Emma and Lynn are talking, we see that Johnny and Mari are, they're having their issues. Mari mira de que Johnny está pensando en vender
En
la casa.
vender. Ah,
Y nos enteramos de que su papá no le dejó absolutamente nada, ni un
Qué
peso,
malo.
ni nada de nada. And what really got to me is lo que ella dijo, yo fui su sirvienta, fui su enfermera, fui como su criada, y para
la
que la cocinera,
cocinera.
para que me
Mhm.
trate, for him to treat me and leave me basically with
Nada.
nothing.
Mhm.
I mean, I get it. He was disappointed, because of what she did, and he was embarrassed, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's only them three. And then if you pass away, it's only them two, because obviously, miramos de que sus tías are probably not going to help. So,
No,
No.
you
no,
know,
no.
um, so what did you think, Jackie, of
Sí.
that part? Like that.
Mira. I have 2 brothers and it's 3 girls. Let me tell, I would be livid to the moon. All the rights in the world to be super upset. I do like that Johnny's like, I'm not gonna let you be hanging. Like, I'm not gonna do that. But I really hope that Johnny no venda la casa, Johnny. No la venda, not yet. Like, I mean, unless you guys really need money or something like that, like, but hold off a second. Like, don't do that. That just ticks me off. I can't believe that the father did something like that
Yeah.
to Mari. Like, Mari did everything.
Mhm.
Cocinó,
Mhm.
la sirvienta, la
Yeah.
doctora, la norsa. Para, tú sabes que es que hay muchísimo machismo in
Yeah.
our nationality. It's unfortunate, los Latino men, alguno. Like, I know, like, my dad is not going to pull something like that, but there's just so many other fathers that do that I do know from the grapevine because I speak to other people. So it's very
Yep.
unfortunate. Everything is low. I have a son. And it's like el mundo entero. And then las hijas, como, whatever. It ticks
And
me
I
off.
and I think too, it's not just like, the father doing that. Like, even like, since I was a little girl, like, my mom always
Mm.
treated me different than my brother. There's just always like a separate. Yeah, my brother could spend a night at people's house. I couldn't do that. He could be out later. I couldn't do that. And even like now, like, I'm the one that takes solely care of my, helping my mom out with things. But my mom will still cater to my brother. And I think that's just part of a Latin culture, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Very
Mhm.
unfortunate.
That is like sort of ingrained, and I've been guilty of it. I've like, even though like sometimes I'm like, oh, my brother doesn't deserve, me to make him a plate. Like, I'll make him a plate, but I'll just leave it on the counter rather than what I would normally do is leave it at the table. And it's just, I think we're kind of ingrained, like, just to kind of like cater almost a little bit to the men, and I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
He's like machismo, and he's like, he's the one that's going to take care of it. And I do love, like you said, that Johnny did step up to the plate and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take care of you. No te preocupes. But at the same time, what I didn't like is that he didn't say, you know what, Mari, I understand where you're coming from. How about we discuss this? You don't get to get the final say, but we'll discuss this together. And then I
Yeah.
will make, a decision, and that's the thing that really bothered me. I was just like, oh no, not you too. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, what did he say to Lynn? I didn't even try to know my dad. He didn't even try to get to know me. But
I
Mhm.
know.
somehow he still ended up with the property.
With
Like,
everything.
Con everything.
eso no es normal, eso
No.
no es, no,
And I
no es
think
No.
the person that actually got to know him and knew everything and always worried, even if she wasn't there, and
It's
she even
Mari.
told Johnny, like, hey, take him to the doctor. And, one of the reasons why the dad passed away was because Johnny didn't take him to his
right.
transfusion and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it, it really bummed me out. And like you ladies said, it's that Latino machismo that we have that, sometimes I see it, sometimes I see it now with my aunt and her kids, when they have the boy is kind of like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. But then the girl's like, okay, kind of stay
Yep.
quiet, like you guys say.
Mhm.
And, we're ingrained to that. But I think I don't have relatives, but when I see that, I get so angry and I'm like, no, that's not how it's gonna be. So,
Right.
but
Mm-mm.
it's hard. It's hard to come in there and say like, no, that's not how it's gonna be when it's not really, like that. But yeah, like you guys say, it's a lot of machismo because I've seen it time after time, and I think that's what they were trying to show us. And I think that's why I
Right.
like Vida so much, because they show us things that you normally would be like, oh my god, you stay quiet about, and they're like, no, they're literally putting it in your face, like, look,
Right.
they're making this.
Yeah, it's in your face. I do like that realtor's business card was found by Mari, because that's what sparked everything in the conversation. But I don't like that Johnny was hiding that. Like, I don't like that he was hiding that at all. I mean, talk it out with your sister. Like, if you're thinking about possibly because you're low on money, like selling, but you need to have a conversation. Like, that's your
And not
sister.
only that, but he doesn't even like offer to stay there, telling him, you know what, I'm scared. I'm scared here to be in the
Right.
house. That
I
really
know.
bothered me. He was like,
Yeah.
okay, figure it out. Like, okay, but you're supposedly supposed to be the man and supposed to help me out here, but yet you're not going to stay here and be the man that you're supposed to supposedly be. So I was just
Yeah.
like, I was really disappointed in that scene altogether.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why, but by Johnny's character, I've never been a fan of his character. Even when him and Lynn have like their relationship and their love of their connection, whatever it is that they have going on, never been a fan of his, because his character to me has always been that, like, he's always been like the
Selfish.
favorite, that's selfish. He's always been
Hmm.
the favorite, and he's just never really done much. One of the reasons why Mari is not there, it wasn't there in the house, was because of him. He
Because
could
he's
have.
a big mouth and he's an idiot. Like,
And
what
not
is
only that, but it was like he's never been supportive with Mari. He's always
yeah.
just treated her like whatever. And I think we see that too in real life. We see that often. And I think what Tanya was trying to show us is that this is real life. This is what we have to get used to. And I like that, because
I
first of
you
all,
you
I don't
nailed
like
it,
Johnny's
JLo.
character, and I would never want to be in Johnny's character. And seeing this on the other side, and I'm pretty sure many women and other people are starting to realize, like, hey, I have a Johnny in my life,
Yes.
or we have
Hmm.
a
There
Johnny in the
straight
family.
up, JLo, there is a Johnny. My brother's name is Johnny. He's not quite like this Johnny, thank God. But there are so many
Yep.
Johnnies in the
Hmm.
Latin community.
Yep.
There's always a family. You've got a family member. You got a family member. I
Mhm.
guarantee you is very much like Johnny. So
Mhm.
I do love, JLo, that you're saying Vida. I love how Tanya Soracho, the creator of the show, she's also the writer of the show. I mean, she's like, oh my God, the woman is just paving the way big time for
Yep.
Latinos. Keep opening doors more and more and more so. But I love that she wrote this character in there, because it's so true.
It
There's
is
so
so
many
true.
Johnnies.
There is so many
Hay
Johnnies.
demasiado Johnnies.
Right. It's like we've even dated them, I'm sure,
Oh,
I know I have, and been like,
yes,
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm
This is
good.
why I
Hold
don't.
up, your name is Johnny? Oh no,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
Yeah. We've all had those encounters, and that's like the one thing, I was raised by my grandmother and my mom, and they were very strong Latin women. And like my grandmother was like way ahead of her time, for, someone of her time, she didn't have children till she was like 33, 34, didn't get married until that time. And like everything was just very different for her and her family, because they came from a family of wealth. So they were lucky enough to be able to live life completely differently. And I always have this viewpoint. It's a little different, but even then, what is funny is it still trickled in there. That's the crazy part, and even
Yeah.
down to like my abuelita, she was like one of seven, and her favorite was her brother, her one brother, and she catered to him. And that's just, sometimes even though we have progressed so much, there's still things that we need to fix. And I think that's the point
Yeah.
of this show, is to show this,
Yes.
no
Right.
matter how
Yeah.
far we've come along, we still have a lot of work to do.
A lot, a lot. And
Oh
I think
Yeah.
yeah.
that's within the Latino community for us to be able to grow, like you say. So you're very
Tenemos que
Absolutely.
crecer más.
sí.
Como una
Tenemos que crecer para por nosotros progresar y todas esas cosas.
progresar.
Sí.
Claro
And
que sí.
so these characters can come to life, and I like, like we said, time after time, I like that
Yeah.
Tanya really showed these characters, because now it's us, the audience, seeing it. You're like, oh crap, I have a brother like that, or I have a boyfriend like that, or I have a Lynn like that, I have an Emma, whoever you can relate
Yeah.
to.
What I do like is that it's not just the Latinos. That's what I do love about Tanya's writing, is that she's showing the world,
Mhm.
hey, this is Latinos making a Latino show about Latinos, but look at this. We are all so similar,
No,
because
yeah.
this is also a Johnny in an American white family. This
There's
is also a
every kind of-
Johnny con los chinos y con los Indians y con los, por todo lado del mundo. There's a Johnny. There's a Lynn. There's a Mari. There's
for sure.
yeah.
But now we see that Eddy is back in the bar. We didn't see too much of Eddy. They quickly, threw her in
Yeah.
there, and she's back in the bar. I felt like when she was back in the bar, she kind of felt like some kind of relief, some kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm home. What did you guys think of Eddy just being back in the bar, and kind of Emma just letting it happen and being open to Eddy being in the bar and working the bar?
I think it's good. I think it's
Yeah, it's
good.
good.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think what it was showing with what they were trying to show is, here is this person who brought so much fear and trauma to her in her life when she was in the store, the guy who did this to her, right? And her safe haven was there. And she realized that's where she wanted to be, and she didn't even think about it. She just went there because it was natural for her to go there. And in all of this as well, I think Emma realized something about herself too, and her relationship with Eddy. And then even Eddy realized this a relation. Yeah, my bird even agrees. Even Eddy didn't even know about Emma being bisexual, and just like it was just like these aha moments for everyone. They were all just like, "Ay Dios, like estamos aquí, la vida está," it's just like I don't know. It's so full circle. Okay. And so I really liked that they showed that part. The only thing I didn't like was that no one addressed like why she was feeling that way. And there wasn't a story behind that character and her. And like, I thought for sure Nico was gonna be like, where's this guy at? And go, go and
something
go to the store and like go and try to beat up the guy, or at least
Ruiz the jerk.
Where like somebody would. My bird keeps saying thank you. But I was just waiting for something to happen on that end, because I felt like that would have brought their bond even closer, so that was my only part that I didn't love. But other than that, I loved how everything was sort of like making sense now for everyone.
Right.
In sense.
I think that was all of our. I think I was a little confused for a second too.
It was so
I just
quick,
felt like
right?
I got that part. She felt like, okay, I need to go to the place where I feel safe, right? Which is the bar. But I felt like it was so quick, and you're like, okay, and then Eddy's just there, and then Emma's like, hey, can you work the bar, and that's it, and like that was. And I was like, so nobody's gonna. Okay, got it.
Yes, exactly.
Like nobody's addressing this right now. I felt so nervous for Eddy. I was just like,
me too.
I was like,
what's gonna happen?
¿Qué es lo que le va a pasar, Eddy? Is this guy the attacker? Like on IMDb, he's called the attacker jerk. Y su nombre es Ruiz. Pero like, I was like, is anybody gonna like address this? Like, you girls are saying, like, somebody like this girl, like Eddy looked so shocked when she walked into the Vida bar and so distraught that but like the only one that looked super concerned was Nico. Y después todo el mundo else was just like, back to business. Okay, can you run the bar? Can you do this? Can you do this for me? Because Nico left. So it was kind of like a very
swept
quick,
under the rug a little bit. I didn't like that because I think it's a huge issue that should be addressed, about hate. So I was a little disappointed about that.
Yo lo que creo es que el episodio que va a venir la semana que viene, they're going to bring Eddy back, and it's just, we just got like a little taste of it. And I really feel with
Hope so.
how beautiful they write this team of Vida.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're going to address that a little bit more. They can't just give us a little taste y dejarlo así ya. I mean,
hope
unless
so.
if that's what they're doing in like season 4, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah, unfortunately we're running out of time. But yeah, this was such a great episode for all of us. I think we learned so much and we learned so many lessons, and I hope que ustedes
Yes.
también hayan aprendido un poco de todas las lecciones de todo esto que estuvo pasando el episodio.
Sí.
Every week I'm like, oh my god, make these episodes an hour and a half longer because I feel like they're so short. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching it and then it's done. It's like it's done.
I know. I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm like, no, yeah, it needs to be longer. It's such a great show.
Sí, it really is. Pero ahora nos vamos a ir a nuestro segmento especial con Crystal. Crystal, what do you have for us today?
All right. So the word of the day, I was like thinking of words that I've heard, over the years. And this word is chilango. And now I know you've heard of that word. Okay. And my mom was born in Mexico City, and they always say, oh, tu mamá es una chilanga. And I never understood what it meant. And then I asked one day, and they were like, "Oh, it's the way they sound when they like talk like that, Like there's like a way that they speak in the city." But then I was like, "But how do I know that's real?" So then I went to go look it up. And it says here, chilango is a Mexican slang for the residents of Mexico City. The Royal Spanish Academy and the Mexican Academy of Language gives the definition of the word as referring to something belonging to Mexico City, in particular, referring to people native to the capital. The term chilango is widely used and refers to a variety of people ranging from those who speak with a chilango accent, so it is partly that, and those who live, work, or study in Mexico City. And then also what I found really interesting was they're saying that it started off, and I'm probably this is like such a hard word, but it was Tenochtitlan, then Mexico City. Today it's probably called Chilangolandia. That's what they're calling it now, Mexico City, the capital. And it refers overall to the hot sauce varieties in the Central Valley, and it comes to the ending ango, making fun of the, I'm going to say this wrong too, Nahuatl, right? So the Indians, the native Indians in Mexico, always so Tinango. It's basically goes, what I read was it goes back to all these like Mayans and like different types of like Indian or native Indian Mexicanos that are like, hold on, Indian Mexicanos, like Mayans and
like the Navajos.
Just specifically to Mexico, and it just comes from like their language. So then I started reading a little bit more about it, and basically like it said here, coming from Maya, Zilan means curly or frizzy haired. So, and then in the Nahuatl language, it's chilanco, meaning red ones are, and referring to the red skin reddening from the cold, and used to refer to Aztecs. So it just was really interesting to hear like, oh, it's a little bit of everybody. So it's not just the Mayans, it's not just the Nahuatl, and I'm really botching that, and it's not just the Aztecs, it's a combination, and that they've come up with this term for giving representation for somebody who's from the city. And I thought that was really interesting. The more I get into this, the more I'm like, oh, okay, at least now not only do I know what I'm saying, but now I know the history of it, and it's kind of cool. You guys should look it up.
That's
definitely.
Thank you so much for that, Crystal. That was so informative. That was awesome, because I've heard that term so many times.
Right.
You just hear a part of it, but you don't hear the full story. And
Right,
you definitely
right.
broke it down for us, for sure. Pero ahora nos vamos a ir un poco de noticias rápidamente con Jackie.
Rápidamente.
Jackie, give us the noticias for today. Give us the news.
You got it, mamacita. Bueno, I'm going to tell you, Tanya Sauracho, creator of Vida, also directed several episodes, head writer, executive producer, also wrote 2 episodes on Devious Maids, born in Los Mechas, Mexico, from Chicago. Latest news she's posted on her Instagram is hashtag D4NNC donations for Navajo Nation Challenge. Just post a pic, a video of yourself with hashtag donation for Navajo donation challenge. And if you do that, and it's right on, the links right there, the pictures right there for you guys to check it out. Navajo Nation has more cases of COVID-19 than 8 United States in effort to raise funds for Navajo organizations working on the front lines fighting to help those impacted. So you can go to Tanya Soracho's Instagram. You can check it out even more. So it's so, you're talking about Navajos and the Mexicans and people who are Indian, and just this is time for people to come together with COVID-19 and help out our community. We are Latinos, but we have a mix of everything. So thank you, Tanya, for posting that and for wanting people to take the challenge and raise money to help people that are in the front line and starving. So check that out. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie, for that. Y sí, si pueden ayudar en cualquier manera, por favor, chequen la página de Tanya para que puedan ustedes donar. If you guys want to donate, please definitely check out her page. Pero every week, I always say it, I always feel like this is such a fast show. I feel like the show ends so quickly. I feel like we need like 2 hours to talk about this because we have so much thoughts and so many opinions of these 30-minute episodes, 40-minute episodes, but it's because we love to, we really enjoy watching the show. We're really big fans of the show.
Sí. No es a machisme.
No, si ustedes son fans del show, por favor, suscríbanse a este canal, síganos en AfterBuzz TV Latino Instagram. Pero Jackie, ¿a dónde te pueden buscar la gente?
Oye, mi gente, me pueden encontrar en Jackie Nova 7 across the board, all my social medias, y también te pueden ir para JackieNova.actor y oxfilms.us. Check it out.
Okay. Crystal, ¿a dónde te pueden buscar a ti?
You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Crystal823. That's Cristal823. And I can't wait to be here next week.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm going to take a little video of us.
Yes. And you guys can find me at IamJlo.2 y también me pueden buscar en AfterBuzz TV Instagram. Pero muchas gracias por estar aquí con nosotros otra vez. Y nos pueden buscar cada lunes aquí a las 6 p.m. Pacífico con Jackie y Crystal hablando todo sobre vida. Hasta luego. Bye.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Nuestros fundadores Kevin Undergaro y María Menunos quieren agradecerles por estar aquí en AfterBuzz TV. Recuerden que no solo somos los primeros en ser los más grandes del mundo y el único destino para todos sus programas de televisión favoritos. Así, vayan a AfterBuzzTV.com para ver nuestra lista de shows. ¡Hasta luego!